It's been about 3 years since I've done a series, so we are getting back to it right now. And today is day 2 of seeing if I could train to qualify for the World Championships for 70.3 while being a doctor. But before I get to this video, I want you guys to know that you are greatly, greatly loved, and that you are wonderfully and beautifully created, and that you are capable of far more than you could ever imagine. Let's get to this. All right, guys, so we have the workouts done for the day, and Oliver, it is time for him to eat, and I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about what this series is going to be about. So I am now about to be a fourth-year resident, absolutely insane. And for those of you that have been around my YouTube channel, you guys know I've not been consistently making videos for about the last 3 years, but now it is time to get back into it, and I have a huge goal that I want to accomplish. And that is qualifying for the 70.3 triathlon Ironman World Championships. So I have a half Ironman October 2nd, and I'm going to be training while in my last year of residency to try to qualify. So let me catch you guys up about how we have gotten here. Okay, so intern year, I wanted to prove that you can stay fit and healthy during residency, so worked as hard as I possibly could for 16 weeks and trained for Ironman Texas, and that was my first Ironman. It was incredible, had a great experience. I finished that in about 12 hours, right around 12 hours, I think. Since that time, I've done a half Ironman. I tried to qualify for the Boston Marathon. I ran a 3:01 marathon, and then I wanted to raise money for our pediatric hospital, and I did 5 half Ironman in 5 days. So now my next big goal is to qualify for the half Ironman World Championships while being a father to this sweet baby boy, a husband, and working in residency, and would love for you guys to follow my journey. We're getting underway. Today's day 2. Today is day 2. Yesterday we did my critical velocity swim test. Let me tell you, there's not much velocity there. I think it was a 140, so I have a lot of work to do on the swim. And then today we have a cycling session, which I just finished, did legs today, and then we have a run session later. So I'm going to get Oliver fed up, and then we're going to get him to daycare, and then I'll bring you guys with me to the hospital. Let's get this series started, and cannot wait to have you guys here with me. Right, Oliver? Okay, so one of the great things about being on an elective is that you get here pretty late. So it's only about 8:30 in the morning right now. I'm just now getting to the hospital, and I'm on radiology. So we are about to go read some x-rays. So I'll show you guys some x-rays, teach you how to read them very basically, so that if you're on a rotation or you have an x-ray, you'll kind of know what's going on. So let's go check out these films. All right, so let's go super basic and just talk about how to read an x-ray. So I'm going to teach you guys a mnemonic. It is EER, so ER, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so when we start with ER, so there's 2 E's in this, EER. The first one is expansion. So we want to look at the chest radiograph and see how well expanded it is, and we do that by counting the number of ribs. So if you look at this image here, it shows that there's about anywhere between 8 to 9 ribs there above the diaphragm, and you want between 8 to 10 for there to be good expansion. And this is on a film that would be during inspiration or breathing in. The next E would be exposure, and so that's kind of like how white or dark the image is and how well we could see the penetration through this. And so for good exposure, you want to see the intervertebral disc down about 2/3 way throughout the spinal column there in the back. In this film, it looks like it is very well exposed as well. And I would not say that it is overexposed either. The next one would be R, so that is rotation. In rotation, you want to look at the ribs, and just a very rough way to do it is to see if one rib is longer than the other. And so say that if the right-sided rib of this film was longer than the left-sided, you might be able to say that they're slightly rotated on the left side. So whichever side has the longer rib, they're probably rotated in the opposite direction. Next, we get to the rest of the mnemonic, A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, so if we look at this film, we're going to go with A. So A is just the airway. So you want to make sure that the airway, the trachea, is midline throughout the chest radiograph, that it's not deviated to one way or another. Then you're going to follow that trachea down into where it branches into the bronchus, the bronchi. And then you want to see where that ends up going. And are there any consolidations in that area? Or are there any areas of patchy atelectasis or collapsed lungs in those areas? So that's A. B would be for bones. So you're going to look through all of the bones and make sure that there are no. A good way to do this is to follow the line of every single bone and just make sure there's not a break within that line. Next would be C, so that is cardiac. You want to look at the heart, and you want to see if the heart is too big, too small. This heart looks completely fine. If it was too big, it would take up more than 50% of the diameter or the area of the thorax there, and this heart here looks completely fine. Also with the heart, you want to see, can you see the borders of the heart very well? Sometimes you can get a pneumonia that just kind of blunts or blocks out a portion of the heart that you can't see very well, or you might have some atelectasis, some collapsed lungs around that area that might make it more patchy, and you might not be able to see the borders very well. So make sure you can see all the borders of the heart very, very well. And then also, sometimes you can see a posterior pneumonia by the section of the heart on the left side of the chest being a little more dense or a little more white than what it normally would look, or if you have different x-rays to compare to. Next would be D. So D is the diaphragm. We want to make sure that these diaphragms look clear, that you could see the edges very well, and that they're not that there's not an effusion there or a pocket of fluid there that's kind of blunting that diaphragmatic angle. And then you could also look at the cardiophrenic angle, which is the heart and the diaphragm. Make sure that all of those borders are very crisp and clear that you can see. You can also see if it's a very flattened diaphragm that shows very large lung volumes. You could appreciate that in some films as well. Next we'll go into E. E is just kind of everything else. You're going to look at everything throughout the chest x-ray and see what's going on and then give your general impression of that. And then the last thing would be foreign bodies. Do they have any leads on their chest? Do they have an internal jugular catheter? Do they have a central line that you can see going down into their heart? Do they have any ports or any other accessory devices throughout this chest film? So if you're ever on a rotation and you're put on the spot and asked to read an x-ray, hopefully you'll remember the mnemonic EER ABCDEF. To read an x-ray, do it that way every single time, and reading x-rays will become a lot easier. Now it's time to finish up this radiology rotation. Just a disclaimer, all these images I did pull off of Google Images. You can see the link right here, or the website URL right there if you want to go check out more images. And then also, I'm currently not filming in the hospital. I'm at my house talking to you guys about these x-rays. Okay, now let's get on to the third training session of the day, and this is a hard run. It's going to be a blast. Let's go. All right, guys, we are getting these intervals in. So the run workout today, it is a 25 minute warm-up, easy pace, between 7:30 and 10-minute miles. Then 10 by 1 minute by 2 minutes. 1 minute hard, 2 minutes slow. This is all out. Minutes are supposed to be between a 5:10 and a 6-minute pace. And my cool down is just like very slow, 12-minute pace for 2 minutes. So I'm about to get interval number 6 in. We're already knees deep into this. Let's get this going. Come on. All right, this one, we got it on a 1% incline, best if you're gonna be running on a treadmill. And then this one's gonna be at a 5:30 pace. This will be interval number 6. Hopefully by the 10th one, we'll be at about a 5:15. Let's get it. Let's go. Woo! 4 more. This is the beginning. The first video of MD to Ironman series. I'm crazy excited to have you guys joining me along this journey. Before we end the video, I want to share with you guys my goals, and then I want to tell you guys something. Okay, so my goals, number 1 would be obviously to qualify for the World Championship. So what that means is I need to be in the top 3 of my age group. So that's my goal. For Half Ironman Memphis, I want to try to be in the top 3 of my age group, and that means I'll probably need to do about a 4:30 Half Ironman. Then my long far out there goal for my full Ironman in November would be to break 10 hours, which is absolutely crazy, but I'm going to give it everything I have. And then in doing all of this, I want to try to maintain my muscle mass. That's it. I hope you guys will follow along and continue to watch these videos. I'll upload one every single Saturday, so make sure you have notifications clicked. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, and then also comment below if there's anything else in these videos that you would like to see, and I promise I will make videos on it. So before I go, I want you to know that you are greatly, greatly loved, and that you are wonderfully and beautifully created. I hope, and you are capable. I messed up my own punchline. And that you are capable of far more than you could ever imagine.